That was the most awesome, patriotic, peaceful, and...
Can you explain to me what's patriotic about chanting "Hang Mike Pence" while he's certifying the results of the election?
Oh, wow.
I want to know where your evidence comes from. If it's not all of the lawsuits that got shot down, all of the 5-second videos that have been debunked, all of the people that have been in Congress forever saying, hey, the election was not stolen. Let me ask you, are you for or against funding Ukraine?
I'm not for funding Ukraine, and I'll tell you why. Because the whole reason that Putin went into Ukraine is because we keep inching further in on him, and I don't blame him. We can't be trusted. It's sad to say, but look at what we've done to all these other countries. We go in, we fund these rebels or these, Taliban or whatever. We give them weapons, we fund them till they desecrate their own place, and then we come in and save the day by whatever.
I think it's flipped around. So we're not encroaching on European countries with NATO, is what I'm assuming you're referring to, NATO expansion. What happens is European countries have to want to join NATO in the first place, and the reason they want, it's a multifaceted process where they have to agree, NATO has to agree. The reason they're trying to do that is because of Russian authoritarianism on their border as a threat. So imagine you're a European country like Sweden or Finland, and you see Russia's over here invading Ukraine. They invaded Crimea in 2014. They invaded Georgia in 2008. Vladimir Putin keeps invading.
Are those places worse or better for it? I mean, a lot of those places were not doing real well already.
Are you asking me if it's better or worse for a democratic
people there,
a democratic country to be invaded by an authoritarian? I'd say the democracy is better.
Well, I mean, I don't know about authoritarian. I think that, we've been fed all this stuff about how evil all the other ones are. But if you look at what's going on in our government right now, I don't know if any of the others could be more evil, really.
Can you understand why a country like Finland or Sweden would want to be in a protective coalition that deters people like Putin when they've seen... So remember in 2008, Vladimir Putin invaded Georgia. 2014, he invades Crimea. 2022, he invades Ukraine. If you're Finland or Sweden...
What about us? What have we invaded?
Have we invaded our next door neighbor and tried to grab their land?
No, we're going about it a different way, but we sure did go and wreck Iraq, Afghanistan.
You won't find me defending that either, of course.
Okay, we're bullies. Like, we just think we're supposed to tell everybody how... You know what? Yes, I want to live in a republic. I want to have democratic elections, freedoms like that. But not everybody sees things the way we do. And we should stay out of their business. They have every right to see things the way they do.
The Ukrainian people themselves want to be a democratic country. They want to be more Western aligned.
Is that what Zelensky told you? Because
Zelensky told me himself
when he was buying the new yacht he got.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I think that was debunked. I don't know if he bought it.
Why there's no records whatsoever to follow the cash. The money's.
We're not sending cash.
We have sent money.
We've sent 20.
We have sent lots of money.
We've sent 20% in cash, but the vast majority of aid is old stockpiled military equipment that we can now restock and replenish and create new American manufacturing jobs.
I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that I don't believe that at all.
You don't believe that we're sending old? So
I do believe I believe we're sending all kinds of shit over there.
What would Ukraine do with just like cash rather than old artillery?
Have you ever heard of the New World Order?
Can I ask you? I'm going to pivot a little bit off this topic. Do you think the election was stolen?
I think that the election had a tremendous amount of problems. Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of them have in the past. I think that it's just that on a grand scale, it hadn't been so big before. Have you been paying attention to the election? I mean, the polls and the way the primaries and things have been?
I have been, yeah, of course. Yeah. But I don't think that's indicative of the 2020 election. So my point of view on it is that after the election happened, Trump took cases to courts across the country. They all shot the cases down due to evidentiary reasons. You're going to say that those courts are corrupt, or they didn't look at...
They never got to that point.
They did. So out of the 60 cases, 30 of them were shot down due to evidentiary reasons. 14 were removed by the plaintiffs that actually filed the lawsuit.
There have been cases all around this country where election fraud has been pursued and people have been convicted, charged and convicted.
But what Trump was claiming was election fraud so massive that millions of votes were being fraudulently cast. There's nothing to substantiate that. People in his cabinet, like Bill Barr, who you probably don't trust.
Were you watching when Fulton County told everybody there was a leak, that we're shutting it down for the night, and as soon as everybody was out, they go start pulling out these tubs? Did you see that?
That's been debunked repeatedly. Can I tell you why?
Well, whoa, debunked. It was on camera.
So can I tell you why? There's a 5-second clip of a ballot box being pulled out. You know how sometimes...
Let's start before that. They said there was a leak, a plumbing leak that was...
happened the day before.
It was a toilet.
It happened the day before.
Okay, so why did they get rid of everybody Everybody that was in there, the poll workers, everybody in there. Why?
So what people think is that there was a pipe leak, and during that, ballots were planted.
I didn't say anything about that.
So what's the argument? What happened during the pipe leak?
Okay, well, all of a sudden, 3 or 4 of them got rid of everybody else and said they were shutting it down for the night. They would resume in the morning after the plumbing or the leak or whatever was finished, correct? You agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, why? And then as soon as everybody was out, oh, well, the leak is fixed. And they start counting these ballots. We won't even touch the fact where they got them from.
This is completely normal. If there's a pipe leak or if there's some sort of leak, everybody gets it. It was the day before.
Okay, wait a minute then.
Let me tell you what's happening. The argument that I've heard, people were telling me in there that there was a pipe leak, and during that pipe leak, you see people pulling out ballots. These two things happen on completely different days.
Okay.
And can I expand on my argument with
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a video of somebody pulling out a ballot box.
We wouldn't even go there.
Well, I want to go there. I want to go there. There's a 5-second video. You know how sometimes liberals take 5-second clips of Trump out of context to make him look bad?
I know how all the misinformation and fake news.
Okay, so just imagine this 5-second clip. When they brought that to a court with a Republican judge, the court looked at all 16 hours of the day and they realized, wow, this 5-second clip doesn't show the full context. If you look at all of the footage, this was literally just a miscommunication between precincts.
Let's go back to a tiny little part of it. What? Do you think it's okay for a group of people to start counting ballots without other people? Because the
poll watchers were present. The poll watchers were present the whole time, I promise you.
Okay, we'll just have to disagree on that one.
I mean, here, let me. So, do you trust, you wouldn't trust the New York Times or something like that? If I, let me see. Real quick.
Frankly, I don't. There's very few. Whether they're Fox News, I really just have to research it for myself. I no longer take anybody's just word, really.
So, AP News, which is Associated Press, I trust them, and they have actual mechanisms to make sure people aren't lying on their website.
What are those?
That if somebody
fake news people.
If somebody lies, if somebody lies on there, they get fired. Remember when Tucker Carlson lied on Fox News about Dominion voting machines, and he got fired because of the $800 million lawsuit?
Oh wow. Wow.
Okay, wait, can I read this?
Wow.
Can I read this to you?
Tucker.
On election,
I ain't buying it.
On election night in 2020, this is the claim, a burst water pipe at a ballot processing site in Georgia allowed workers to steal the election.
I'm more interested in you showing me how to know that they're telling the truth, what the basis is for knowing they're factual.
Because a court and multiple independent media sources, actually, I can literally show you, let me see.
Yeah, that's more interesting because I can write anything.
President Trump's team is pointing to newly released surveillance video from State Farm Arima as evidence of election fraud. Our chief investigator, Brennan Keefe, joins us.
For the record, I'm staunchly libertarian.
Awesome.
You know that.
I just want to say real quick,
wait a minute, I didn't
the
hear
fact that we're able to have a good conversation without getting heated, this is what America's about.
That's the way it's, right.
So, really quickly.
Another important opportunity here to separate fact from fiction.
It's on double speed.
So what do you think happened on January 6th? This will be interesting, because I was there, so I'm interested in
ballots, but there is more to the story.
Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases come out from underneath the table.
Supporters of the president are calling it Suitcase Gate.
We call it a suitcase.
But those
so
are
where
not
are these poll
suitcases.
workers?
11 Alive has confirmed they're the standard ballot containers
2,
used
4,
by
standard ballot containers. Listen.
Where are the poll workers?
They're all there. Listen.
All 6 of them?
Listen. I see 6 people in here. I see 6 people in here. Okay,
that's what I said, 6.
Listen.
6 people for Fulton County ballot county?
Listen to the video. Listen to the video.
Plastic bins.
I can see with my own eyes. I don't need him to
The 4-second clip, that's like saying I saw Trump have a stroke because he misspoke on stage.
That beyond that 4-second clip, there were another 40, 60, 80 people that were really there. They were just in a line for the bathroom
look at this in-court testimony. You don't trust Secretary of State Raffensperger? Okay, let me ask you a line of questioning. Do you trust Mike Pence when he says the election wasn't stolen?
I trust that he doesn't go to dinner with anyone but his wife, but I do not trust.
Do you trust Bill Barr when he says the election wasn't stolen?
Boy, you've got every Mitt Romney.
Do you trust Mark Meadows when he says
Lindsey Graham? Let's get them all. Nancy Pelosi.
How do you only trust Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani?
I don't just trust Donald Trump.
So name someone else credible that thinks the election was stolen. Name one person other than Rudy Giuliani or Mike Lindell. Who are you?
And why isn't Mike Lindell? Why is he not
My Pillow guy who's bankrupting himself over
because he believes in it so much he's been willing. Now that
what
if you don't think a man that's willing to to lose every penny he's got, and he's a millionaire, very successful, and you don't think that him spending every single penny he has because he believes in something so much, you don't think that there's anything to say about that? Because that's crazy.
No, what if I spent every single dollar I had pursuing the fact that the election wasn't stolen? I bankrupted myself.
But you didn't.
But people did. But
anybody else?
why would you trust Mike Lindell over Brad Raffensperger, over Mike Pence, over Bill Barr, who has been working in the system for a while, which I understand that's what you don't like, but all of these people who are credible say the election wasn't
Bill
stolen.
Barr, the one that, the
one that Trump said was his sword and shield and appointed. Trump said, "This is my best guy."
He got tricked hard. Believe me, he had no idea how thick the swamp was.
How many times can Trump get tricked by 30 different people that end up being the swamp until it's just like Trump being a bad decision maker? Because everybody, all these names I'm listing, Mike Pence said there's no election fraud. Did Mike Pence trick him too?
So if Mike Pence was running for president, would you vote for him?
No, I'm not a.
I
No.
don't blame you.
So you want to go to January 6th?
Oh yeah.
You were there?
Yeah. Were you?
No.
Okay. Well, then I guess we've got the. Go ahead.
Well, you got what?
Well, I obviously will be a little more educated on the topic.
Because you had one view from on the ground, and I watched all of the security cams from the.
Hang on 1 minute. Bless your heart.
You had.
I don't know how our generation created young men like yourself. I've got them myself. I know. I'm saying that's with all respect, but y'all are fucking crazy. I cut.
You want to know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Is repeatedly saying the election was stolen when there's zero evidence to back you up. Because
You're a reporter, journalist. Why weren't you there?
I was like 16.
Let me tell you something. That was the most awesome, patriotic, peaceful, and I was up there 2 weeks earlier for the MAGA Million March when Antifa attacked us, by the way.
Can you explain to me what's patriotic about chanting "Hang Mike Pence" while he's certifying the results of the election?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Let me ask you, what was going on inside the Capitol? What was Mike Pence doing? What was he there to do that day on January 6th?
He was there to
certify.
You ain't gotta walk me through it, Adam. I know what he was there to.
Is that what I sound like?
No, it's like you were leading. Like I know.
So what was he there to do? Answer the question.
He was there to be a vice president and to uphold his duties as such.
And uphold his duties as such. What were the Trump supporters doing when they were breaking in and there was a small group?
The Trump supporters like that because
What were you guys trying to do when you guys were trying to break in? You're just saying that you guys were all there.
I wasn't trying to break in. I didn't go to the Capitol.
So the people that tried to break in, let's talk about them. You're just genuinely going to sit here and say all of these people were just disillusioned. They weren't actually trying to stop the peaceful transfer of power.
Back about 9 years ago, my son, who at the time was 16, inspired me to listen to some things that got my brain going. So I started investigating September 11th. And about a year and a half into that, I was so heartbroken and disgusted and humiliated and angry. And from there, I just kept going. I suggest you do that because you're very smart. Really, I'm not just, that's not smoke up your ass. I mean that. And I believe that you want to know the truth. But you, instead of getting it from these videos and these people,
I'm getting it from the videos.
Don't. Start digging in. I mean, get the documents from the agencies, talk to people, really dig in, and you'll find out our government's been very dirty for a long time. They killed a sitting president, for Christ's sake.
Do you believe that? Oh, JFK?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's substantiated.
Right. Well, that would explain your positions on a lot of things.
So let me ask you. So we can agree on a few things. Number one, on January 6th, Mike Pence was there to certify the election results. Number two, there was a crowd of Trump supporters at the Capitol. Do you think they were trying to stop that certification?
I can tell. Well, I don't know that we were trying to stop it physically, like with violence.
There's no violence there. Come on.
Okay.
Ashley Babbitt breaking through a window.
Right. Do you know how many guns were taken off of of us that day? Not a single one. It's kind of hard to believe that we had this big insurrection plan, this takeover of the government, and the most sharpest thing we had was a spoon. I mean, come on. No guns, and we all have them, believe me. No guns, no crossbows, no arrows, no stabbing knives.
People came in with full military gear. There were a few guns
you know who they were?
And zip ties.
They weren't Trump supporters, buddy. Do you see any of us dressed like that?
No, but you guys aren't trying to stop
either.
You guys aren't trying to break into the Capitol today.
We weren't trying to break into the Capitol that day.
But you did.
I'm not going to.
But you did break into the Capitol. There were 4 breach points.
Yes, there were. Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. When the cops are doing this.
How about when Ashley
It's kind of hard to say it was a break-in,
How about when
buddy.
Ashley Babbitt gets shot in the neck breaking through a window?
Yeah, and do you know that I personally saw video of that, like, within such a fast time after that? I'm pretty sure that it was Fed showing it to me. It's called propaganda.
What is propaganda about that? It's a real video. If I broke
Right, but it shouldn't have been available 30 minutes later
everyone was live streaming it, that's why. Everyone was live streaming and recording it. If I broke into your house through your window, would you shoot me?
Oh, fuck yeah.
So
I'd shoot you before you got in the window.
So if there
And I live in Felton if you want to.
So if they're a congressman,
Stop in.
if they're a congressman,
Would you not shoot somebody breaking in your window?
I would.
Your
but,
wife and kids in there?
But can I finish what I'm saying? When there are Congress people in Congress and Ashley Babbitt's trying to break through and they think the cops are standing there saying stop.
Oh no.
They absolutely
Who said
stop. Absolutely. It's also,
You are wrong.
It's also
no,
kind of
no. Pull it up.
It's also kind of implied when you're breaking through a window that you shouldn't be doing that.
Wait a minute. Whoa, you
Both things at once.
So you're saying it was both said or it was implied?
Both. You should know if
when
you're
the cops have been come on through the Capitol.
So you're saying Ashley Babbitt didn't break through a window?
Huh?
You're saying Ashley Babbitt didn't break through a window?
I didn't say Ashley. Where are you coming up with that?
You just said the
what
cops
I
let them
said,
in. So did the cops let Ashley Babbitt in through the window, or did she break through it? And my second question is, were they justified in shooting someone breaking in just like you would shoot me if I broke into your house?
But that's our house, first of all.
But the Capitol building
Okay,
had the
second
most
of
important
all-
people in the country.
Second of all, I don't think 5'3" Ashley Babbitt, who was unarmed, just like the rest of us that day.
It's so dishonest to say that it was just 5'3" Ashley Babbitt when there were hundreds of people behind her. If she would have gotten through that window, our congressmen's lives would be at stake.
Oh, I know AOC almost died that day in another building.
Did you shoot me if I was breaking in your house?
That's a totally different situation.
It's not different at all. It's
Yes,
not different at all.
If you were surrounded by cops at my window, I'd probably hold fire and find out what the fuck was going on.
Also, Ashley Babbitt was a veteran. She should know what self-defense looks like. And when you're breaking through a window and people are pointing guns at you, it's almost implied that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be breaking through the Congress people. Can you really see where I'm coming from?
Okay, so you think that without saying anything to her, how about stop right there? I've got a gun. Police. Anything.
They did. They say that in the
No,
video.
they did not. You're wrong. You are so dead wrong.
Michael Byrd, after "he's got a gun" was yelled several times when Lieutenant Michael Byrd aimed his weapon.
Where's this coming from? The AP?
He said in a television interview, he was yelling.
You, boy.
He was yelling at the mob to get back and to stop when
He
fired.
was yelling at the mob to get back in.
And stop. Also, Ashley
What about
Babbitt
Harry
should
Dunn?
know.
You like him?
He's a dude that was walking through and leading people away.
Now you've talked about the J6 footage, so you should be.
I've seen Harry Dunn.
You absolutely.
Tell me what you
and
think-
it doesn't match where Harry Dunn said he was and what happened.
Tell me what you
does
think
it?
Harry Dunn was doing when he was leading
I think
people.
He was lying like hell. Is what I think.
Harry Dunn was the black dude who was leading people through,
He
right?
said that he had an interaction with the oath keepers, but see, when we got the J6 film,
You know what he was doing,
he
right?
wasn't there.
He was there. He was leading people away from the Congress people.
You mean after he had that freak out in the,
Let me show
Harry
you.
Dunn needs to get back on the medicine.
Do you value our peaceful transfer of power? The one that we've upheld every
as long
single.
as it's legitimately had.
So if Mike Pence would have stopped our peaceful transfer of power, that would have been illegitimate. Especially since there's no evidence of election fraud. I just debunked
No
all of the
evidence of election
suitcases.
fraud.
The suitcases being
Type in
pulled out.
election fraud 2020, and I bet you come up with a bunch of stories. Why don't you just pop on one of those and read it to me?
Results of lawsuits. You want to hear the results of lawsuits? Where does your evidence
No,
come
what
from?
I said was type in election fraud. Baby. Okay.
Okay, so I want to know where your evidence comes from. If it's not all of the lawsuits that got shot down, all of the 5-second videos that have been debunked, all of the people that have been in Congress forever saying, hey, the election was not
You're
stolen.
a registered Democrat.
Do you remember when Donald Trump hired cyber ninjas? Have you ever heard of cyber ninjas?
Yes.
Donald Trump hired a firm named Cyber Ninjas to investigate the election. They came back and told him there was no election fraud.
Okay.
Donald Trump fired them. If I show you this happen,
Okay, that's fine, but that does not mean that Donald Trump or myself believe that was, I will never believe that Joe, old demented Joe, who can't get out of his, did you watch his inauguration? There were 6 people there. I have been to so many Trump rallies.
I'm a liberal. I'm a big liberal. I'm a huge Biden supporter. I love
Well,
Biden.
let's cut the balls off for the 6-year-olds, put them in a dress.
That's never happened once. There are 0 6-year-old people who got gender reassignment surgery. That has never happened.
I'm not going to argue that. I would have to look that up. That I haven't
You
researched
actually
that
think
completely.
doctors? Okay, so let me ask you.
But yeah, oh, they are pumping that really
So
hard.
can I ask you, do you think an American adult should have access to gender affirming care if you're above 18?
I don't care what you do as an adult. You can sleep with anybody but my dog and other kids.
Imagine a 16-year-old who's done 4 years of therapy. Their psychiatrist, their doctor, and their family all agree that the next best steps are gender affirming care, maybe just socially transitioning. You can dress how you want. Would you be okay with a therapist, a doctor, and the family all convening and saying, hey, 16-year-old, gender affirming care will make your life better?
How old are you?
21.
Okay. Fair enough.
Would you be okay with that? Answer the question.
Wait a minute, I'm going to. Unfortunately, and I do mean unfortunately, I'm quite a bit older than that. And
You don't look a day over 30.
The person that I was at 16, when I got the 2 tattoos that I now am like, oh my God, what was I thinking? I was not that same person. You don't have sense enough. You know why you have to have parental care and you can't sign for a car or vote or make any, because you're stupid.
That's why.
Because you're stupid. You don't have any clue who you are. And saying this, I have a transgender friend. As a matter of fact, when I had my breasts removed, she still had hers and didn't want them. I was like, don't have any, I want them. You have them, don't want them. What the hell? I have friends that are gay. I have all kinds of friends. And I believe that as an adult, you do what you do, but leave the fucking kids out of it.
But you can go get a tattoo the day of. With gender affirming care, you need years of therapy.
A tattoo the day of what?
I'm just saying, if you want a tattoo, you can go there that day and get a tattoo. But if you
What
want,
day are you talking about?
let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you want to get a tattoo, you can go there and get it the same day. If you want gender reassignment surgery or something, gender affirming care, you need to go to therapy for years. You need doctors, you need psychiatrists, you need
puberty.
therapists. Okay, 16-year-olds.
Through the serious shit.
So if a therapist and a doctor told a 16-year-old gender affirming care is okay, you disagree with the therapist. Where does your specialty come in?
I think until they become, at the very least, an adult.
Who are you to disagree with a doctor and a therapist who say that this will improve a person's quality of life?
I'm a mother. And I've also been 16 years old.
Not an MD.
And your mother's going to whoop your ass. Oh, yeah. Adam's mother. For real. Your ass has had it. You know it too, he's turning red.
My mom does have a PhD, but it's not
there you go.
But my mom has
and how does she feel about it?
My mom has a PhD, and I would never trust her to talk about gender affirming care because she has no clue what she's talking about. She has no clue, just in the same way that you have no clue what you're talking about.
What are your degrees?
I dropped out of college to do journalism.
Oh, but you know all about it, huh?
I know that the election wasn't stolen. I know that Mike Pence
is an
upheld the
American hero.
Constitution in a way, yeah. I know that Ukraine needs to be funded to uphold the world
You know what
order.
the scariest thing about that is? It's one day y'all are going to run this place and I'm terrified.
What's going to happen? What are you going to do when Trump loses this year?
Well, I guess we'll try to figure out the election fraud again. Because I think if you'll look, so you think you're voting for Joe Biden?
I'm voting for Joe Biden 6 times. I'm sneaking suitcases of ballots in.
You know what? If I was doing that to my grandparents, I would be charged and convicted of elder abuse.
Yeah.
And the methamphetamines he was on the other night at the very, very friendly, happy State of the Union address.
He did great.
He was campaigning. That's not a State of the Union. And God knows what they pumped him up with. He was like, blah, 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 blah.
Joe Biden got into office. He passed a large infrastructure bill that he got Republicans to sign on to. Let me finish.
Oh yeah, thank God the potholes are gone.
He passed the Inflation Reduction Act. He passed the Build Back Better Act. He passed the Made in China, or what's it called? The Chips and Science Act.
Oh,
can you name me?
Anything to do with China?
No.
He didn't pass on.
Name me your favorite Trump policy that he passed. I'll wait.
You're cute. You'll wait.
Oh wait, I just named
I like the bill, and I can't remember the number of it, but the HB
117 or something.
It's where all the damage done by was it Clinton that did the recidivism? Hang on, the 3 times. Hang on.
You're saying this is better than the Infrastructure Act and the Build Back Better Act?
You talking about in Ukraine?
No, the infrastructure bill that we passed, that Biden passed in America.
Well, the only
20 Republicans signed
up. The only things I've seen Biden do were for other countries. Okay.
I just listed you 5 things that he passed in our country.
Well,
the Build Back Better Act, the infrastructure bill, the COVID relief that he passed, the climate change bill that he passed.
What do you think about Lake and Riley?
I think it's a tragedy what happened.
Right.
Why would I ever support that?
Right. It wouldn't have happened if the border wasn't open and we weren't being invaded. And it's going to get worse.
I think that Biden proposed a really good border bill that 17,000 border patrol agents signed on.
He's down there, and he thinks they're talking about somewhere else.
He went down there last week, the same day as Trump, and he said, did you see what he said to Trump? He said,
Where's
Trump,
the ice cream?
he said, I challenge you to pass this
Time
border
for my
bill.
pudding.
Do you not like the bill that Biden proposed that 17,000 border patrol agents signed on? They all endorsed the bill.
Because they are desperate down there. I mean, but what else was in that bill?
If they're
what
that,
else did they tuck away in the bill? Are we watching the Asian carp migrating?
if they're that desperate, then why would Trump tell Congress to shoot it down? If they're that desperate, why would Trump tell Congress to shoot down that bill?
Well, all I can tell you is that when Trump was in office, we were doing a lot better.